It's a balmy Tuesday evening in Atlanta, May 18th, 2004, at Turner Field. 23,381 fans filed in, expecting a routine National League matchup between two teams headed in different directions. The Diamondbacks rolled in at 15-23, scuffling. The Braves sat at 17-20, also stumbling out of the gate. Nothing about that scoreboard which whispered history. Nothing about the standings hinted that one of the greatest performances in the long, glorious chronicle of our beloved game was about to unfold on that grass. But on the mound for Arizona stood the big unit himself, Randy Johnson, 40 years old. 6'10" of left-handed thunder, a mullet that had seen 4 decades of American summers. And on this night, that 40-year-old arm had something to say, something that the baseball gods would write it down in permanent ink. The first inning, Jesse Garcia squares to bunt. Johnson pounces, throws him out. Julio Franco, himself a baseball ageless wonder, goes down swinging. Chipper Jones, strikeout swinging. 9 pitches into the night, and you could feel something humming in the Georgia air. Meanwhile, his teammates scratched out a run in the second. Danny Bautista singles. Alex Cintron rips a double to center field. Bautista trots home, and a Braves error sends Cintron to third. 1-0 Arizona. That's all the big unit would need. That's all the big unit would ever need on a night like this. Inning after inning, the zeros piled on the Atlanta side of the board. Andrew Jones, flyout. Johnny Estrada, strikeout. J.D. Drew, strikeout. Mark DeRosa, strikeout. Nick Green, strikeout. Mike Hampton, the opposing pitcher, the man matching Johnson, 0 for 0, strikeout. Through 3, through 4, through 5, the fastball still climbing into the mid-90s at 40 years of age. The slider, that wicked, biting slider they used to call Mr. Snappy, diving off the table like a fish off a dock. In the top of the 7th, Arizona finally got him a little breathing room. Cintron doubled again. Robbie Hammock walked, and then Chad Tracy lined a single to center field. Cintron scored, and it was 2-0. Now Johnson had a cushion. Now the crowd in Atlanta, the rival crowd, began to understand exactly what they were watching. Out he came for the 7th. Garcia, strikeout swinging. Franco, ground out. Chipper, strikeout swinging. The 8th, Andrew Jones, flyout. Estrada, strikeout swinging. Drew, ground out. 24 up, 24 down. 3 to go. Now, folks, I want you to picture this. A 40-year-old man on the verge of becoming the oldest pitcher to ever throw a perfect game. Older than Cy Young when Cy did it back in 1904. Taking that long walk out to the mound at Turner Field for the 9th inning. The Braves fans on their feet, the Diamondbacks dugout, holding its breath. Catcher Robbie Hammock crouching down behind the dish, knowing that the next 3 outs would change his life and Randy's life forever. Mark DeRosa ground out second to first. 1 down, 25 down. Nick Green strikeout looking, frozen on a fastball that painted the corner. 2 down, 26 down. And up to the plate steps pinch hitter Eddie Perez, the last hope for Atlanta, the last man standing between Randy Johnson and perfect game immortality. The count climbs to 2-2. Hammock sets the target. Johnson rocks, fires, and Eddie Perez swings through it. Strike 3. 27 up, 27 down. 13 strikeouts, no hits, no walks, no runners. Perfect. The 17th perfect game in the history of Major League Baseball. The first since David Cone twirled his masterpiece against Montreal back in July of 1999. And here's the beautiful part, folks. Randy Johnson had already thrown a no-hitter way back in June of 1990 against the Detroit Tigers as a young, fireballing Seattle Mariner. Nearly 14 years between no-nos, the longest gap any pitcher had ever stretched across his career. He joined Cy Young, Jim Bunning, Hideo Nomo, and Nolan Ryan as the only men to ever throw no-hitters in both the American League and National League. 40 years old, 27 outs, one unforgettable night in Atlanta. The big unit, perfect. This has been Dates with Destiny, a Smell Baseball podcast. I'm Mr. Baseball, and I'll see you again tomorrow.